schools. These headmasters who bring back charges in government schools also work with parents' association. So I could sack the head teachers. So that's why I decided to say, no, let me use another way of showing them that they are wrong. That's how I started this program of free training for skills now.
The Vice President, His Excellency Jessica Arupo, commended President Museveni for his commitment towards the development of human resource in Uganda, saying that it can't be overemphasized.
From the introduction of UPE, USE, technical and vocational education, it is very clear that Your Excellency, your leadership in government, but also in NRM as a party, has produced tremendous achievements and results that speak for themselves. I would like to restrict myself to the ceremony here on the presidential hubs, but I would like to remind all of us that His Excellency the President, through all the sectors, have made achievements which I want to thank all of you for being stakeholders in your different capacities. Thank you very, very much.
The Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Anita Annette Among, thanked President Museveni for the inclusive leadership that has enabled him to cater for all Ugandans, including the youths.
Your Excellency, I want to thank you so much for the inclusive leadership that you have. The inclusive leadership in terms of you cater for the youth, you cater for the elders, for the women, you bring everything on the ground. We have PDM, we have a Myoga, we have skilling. We want to thank you so much. Your Excellency, as your humble Speaker of Parliament and a very proud daughter of NRM, want to assure and promise you that we shall prioritize all the money for this kind of activity.
Testimonies were also shared with some of the graduates who were gifted by the President with financial support to purchase equipment required in their enterprises.
So for now, as we are talking, I managed to get the other plot back to me. At the same time, I also have my own plot, which I bought in Kachumbala at 6,800,000.
And by the end of I'm seeing after 1 year, I can be able to get 3M, and that money can buy me the 2 machines. I'm targeting that.
The event was also attended by the Minister of State for Fisheries, Honorable Helen Adoa, Minister of State for Ethics and Integrity, Honorable Akel Rose Lily, Minister of State for Northern Uganda, Honorable Kenneth Omona, the State House Controller, Ms. Jane Bareche, members of Parliament, religious leaders, and cultural leaders, among others.
These children would be on us, but you have reduced this burden. And we want to pledge that for me in Serere, I am going back to meet the hub from Serere, the SACCO, they call it a SACCO.
Over 354 girls and 358 boys have graduated from the Tesozono Presidential Hub. GNTV at 12.
Thank you, Desire, for that report. Now, away from that, the Kampala Capital City Authority has raised concerns with city tycoon Hamis Kigundu, commonly known as Ham, over the construction of Nakivubo on the drainage channel at St. Balikudembe Market. Kampala Capital City Authority officials were confronted by individuals allegedly acting as security personnel of Hamis Kigundu. We have more.
Tensions escalated when the political wing of the Kampala Capital State Authority, led by the chairperson of the City Planning and Building Committee, Gaddafi Jafari, attempted to halt construction by city tycoon Hamis Kigundu at the Nakivubo drainage channel near St. Balikudembe Market, commonly known as Owino.
Tusanze kitufu bazimba awatali plan omulimu gwaffe omukulu gwali gwa kubasavinga naye betusanzeewo kyebekwaza kyempulidde nti minisita Kabanda yayise mukama waabwe bali mu kwogera mu kuteesa naye enzirukanya y'ekibuga teri mu ofisi ya minisita wa Kampala. Enzirukanya y'ekibuga eri wano ku City Hall. Process weziyita neba meeting na minisita mpozi bali byabwe bya NRM byababeeramu naye
Kampala Road Mayor Elias Lukwago expressed his disappointments, accusing influential individuals with close ties to the central government of effectively taking control of the city's governance.
Kumalawo enkola mwami hamu gyataddewo wali ey'okutiisatiisa buli omu. So ffe kye tugambye acting ED kye tusuubira omwala gwaffe ogwo teri guzimbako. Ekkubo lya Kereziya erigenda ku kijjukizo lyazibye lirina okuggulibwawo. Mu bufunze ebyo bye yazimbyewo birina okumenyebwa. Tukyagulubana nsonga y'amataba mu kibuga Kampala. Emyala gyonna egisinga gyonna gyajjula bwe giri clogged gyazibikira. Nakivubo n'oyo jjugula bwala bwe tulinawo badde butwalatwalako ku mazzi ekibuga kireme okubbira mu mataba. Tukyalwana kufuna nsimbi za kuzimba myala tusobole okulwanyisa amataba naye n'obwalo obutono bwe tuliwo obuliwo ate tukkirize hamu abuzibe.
KCC officials gathered at Kafumbe Mukasa police station to seek security assistance for serving an enforcement notice to stop Chigundu's construction activities. Among the delegation were the Minister for the Lord Mayor John Mary Sebufu and Planning Committee Chairperson Gaddafi Jafari. From the police station, they proceeded directly to Chigundu's construction site, where workers were continuing their labor to complete the structures.
Kakati kuliko abalala ba technical nga bwe babadde batawunikira akabonna batuulako n'abalala bwe bavudde mu meeting yaabwe olunaku lwajjo ne bagamba nti atukirire ku ground. Kakati okutuukayo olwaleero effujjo erifaanana bwe lityo eri abatamanya ngamba eri abakifeesi ate nga bakuumibwa poliisi kubanga otuuse mu Uganda otuuse okufiira mu kibuga wakati Kampala nga ne poliisi etunula bweti. Agasajja agakawula gajjega ku gajambule nga poliisi yegawa protection kubanga system yakoleddwa bulungi nti memba bakakiiko kabasooke be reporting ku poliisi osi n'aba poliisi babawe security kuba omulimu gwe bakola gwa KCC gw'amateeka osi naye ng'ali mu bitengo bw'ati aba security bonna bali mu bitengo bw'ati.
After the confrontation, the KCC officials returned to City Hall, pledging to use all legal means necessary to stop the illegal construction on Nachivubo Channel. The elected leaders of KCCA are now looking to an emergency meeting led by KCC Executive Director Frank Lusa to determine the next course of the action.
Okufulumya plans. Tubagamba nti buli alina plan nga yala kuzimba mu Kampala twakyusizaamu mu nkola. Kyamala kati tusukidde mu lugenda mu field. Tuboya la kuzimba kintu kyonna mu Kampala. Leeta ebiwandiiko byo bulungi mu budde tubitululemu tukuteeketeeke tubi approving mangu nnyo weeks 2-3-4 nga tukuwa plan yo ng'ogenda okola. Naye mwami hamu Kigundu yagenze ku mwala gwe Nakivubo. Omwala gwe twafunirako ssente ezaali za World Bank ku mulembe kwa Sabana Kizito okuzimba Nakivubo Channel. Tosobola kuzimba nga tolina authority ya institution.
Ate mwene embeera egenda maaso mu ggwanga tosobola kubanga oli wa stoppings omuntu oyo n'agenda itegeeza mu KCCA tuyinamu emikono egy'amaanyi ennyo egiri mu kusupportinga amu tasobola agenda maaso ng'azimba nga basobola okukwata omutembeeyi ku kkubo ng'akola ki ng'atunda ebintu.
Nachivubo Channel, a key drainage system in Kampala, has long been overwhelmed with ongoing construction activities and heavy rains regularly causing floods. Hamis Chigundu spoke to our reporter after being hired for the construction.
Olwaleero ndi musanyufu nnyo lwa nsonga nayitiddwa Oweekitiibwa acting ED ku nsonga ezibadde zigenda maaso nga teyampise nzekka ng'omuntu wabula yayise ba stakeholders mubaddemu n'obutategeeragana mu kyaki nti osanga hamu yaziba amakubo agagenda ku kyaki mubadde mubiwulira nga mulimu n'ensonga endala ezigamba nti enkuba eyatonnya jjuuzi amazzi gafuladi nga ne gagenda mu olw'ensonga oba olw'ebintu bye twali tuzimba awo naye tutudde ne ba stakeholders bonna ne tukkaanya nekya pulaani nti osanga mu byazimba tebitambula mu mateeka. N'ensonga endala twebaza nnyo era ntwala omukisa guno okwebaza ow'ekitiibwa Archbishop olwa guidance yatuwadde n'atugamba nti kiri kijjukizo kuba abantu abasabira mu kijjukizo ate bagenda ne balaba omupiira. Abantu abalaba omupiira be bavayo ne bagenda ne basaba mu kijjukizo. Kati n'olw'ensonga eyo ate nga nze ndi musajja atya Katonda sikiwa nti mu ntya yange ya Katonda mutuufu nsobola okusiga ekkubo erigenda eri Mukama.
Asimwe Kajese, GNTV at 12.
We appreciate your desire for that report. Now, in other news, the Ministry of Immigration has come out to warn all Ugandans against forging documents while applying for visas and passports from the Immigration Center. The officials say it is very risky for Ugandans who do such because even the process to get passports, it is very simple. We have more.
Most of the Banyarwandans who have come to apply for passports, eventually you actually request them to naturalize. Naturalization is registration of citizenship, which doesn't even take long. It's 3 weeks. You just go online, put in the necessary documents, put in your parents' details, put in your details, and submit. And that is it. Then you get a certificate of what? Of naturalization. And then the next thing, you go to NIRA and get a national ID. Then come and get your passport. As simple as that. But you see, most people do not want to go through all that. They just want to come, say, for me, I've been staying here, I was born here, my parents were here. But remember, you migrated from the other country and lived here. But you did not register for citizenship. You're supposed to register for citizenship, which is what actually we keep telling them to register for citizenship. So they complain because you've told them to go and instead register, which is actually not a very hard thing, but they see it as a very bad thing. They go ahead to conclude that you're discriminating them. We are not. We're actually telling you, go register for citizenship and legalize your stay in the country. So most of the people that we get are those ones that want to evade that whole process. So they go make noise and disrupt everyone. The e-visa system is actually very, very effective. Once a person is coming into the country, they will have to apply for a single entry visa. So the single entry visa, of course, once it's approved and you've paid for it online, it will be approved and you'll get an email that your visa has been approved. Then you can come into the country. We've actually alerted all airline companies not to allow anyone without a visa approval. So no one can get on a plane without a visa approval. Then once you're in the country, depending on your intentions into this country, if you've come to invest, if you've been invited as an expatriate, then you go ahead and apply for a work permit. Then if you've come to study, you go ahead and apply for a student pass. Then wives of expatriates who don't intend to work will apply for a dependent pass. All those things are found on the same platform. You apply, you pay, and then you get your facility. Of course, other factors remain constant. So we automated our visa processes. Everyone who comes into the country has to actually apply online and pay online with a visa card. We do not accept any money on our desks. We don't accept any money. So by the time you come into the country, your visa is already approved. Passport services were taken away from manual processes and were taken to online. So everyone who applies for a passport, everyone who shows up here has already made an online application, has already paid, and has scheduled an appointment. So they are worked out in real time, and their process of acquiring this passport does not actually take too long. It takes almost 7 days and the passport is out. Someone forges almost everything. Interpol letter, they forge. Only if you reach there, you check, cross-check, and the thing is forged. All because someone wanted money. But all those have been actually lessened because we've managed to teach everyone how to use these systems. A person can actually sit on their own and make an application without having to approach anyone. A person can make an application for a passport. A person can make an application for a work permit without having to use a broker. So at this point, they've actually learned how to do this on their own, because it's so you have to sit there, put in the link, start the application, upload documents and submit, as simple as that. So before they didn't know that, they thought it was quite tedious, but now they've learned that it actually is a simple thing and saves them all the money they would have spent on a broker.
GNTV at 12.
We appreciate you, Desire, for that report. Now, in our today's international news, PASTEF's victory in the legislative polls has redrawn the electoral map and given it unprecedented power to implement its program ahead of the reforms in Senegal's political landscape. So far, this victory gives mandate to the PASTEF party in Senegal to do the reforms. We take a look.
Confirmed Senegal's ruling PASTEF party has won a decisive victory in Sunday's NAP legislative elections. They show it outperforming the two main opposition groups, coming first in 40 of the country's 46 departments and in 7 of 8 diaspora constituencies. In addition, President Bassirou Faye's party extended its reach, winning votes in areas of the countries that are seen as strongholds of former President Macky Sall. Only 6 departments have resisted PASTEF, which has solidified its dominance 8 months after assuming power, securing a strong mandate for its reform agenda. Faye assumed power in April following a landslide victory in the presidential polls, promising to crack down on corruption and improve livelihoods. This raised hopes among the largely youthful population who are facing widespread unemployment and high inflation. But just 6 months later, he dissolved parliament, accusing lawmakers in the opposition-led assembly of blocking him from executing the promised changes. PASTEF's victory in the legislative polls has redrawn the electoral map and given it unprecedented power to implement its program. GNTV at 12.
Thank you, Desire, for that report. Now into our today's sports news. Uganda Cranes last evening won its final game against Congo Brazzaville in the 2025 AFCON qualifying matches with a 1-0 scored by Travis Mutiaba in the 55th minute of the game. Coach Paul put across Ugandans for the better display when time clocks 2025. We take a look.
Uganda Cranes coach Paul Port and his players promised a response after the shambolic show in the 2-0 defeat to South Africa at Nambole last Friday. They delivered it, Travis Mutiaba returning to the starting lineup to score the winner in Uganda's 1-0 away victory over Congo in Brazzaville yesterday evening. Worth noting, both Uganda and South Africa came into their last matches having already confirmed their qualification to 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. The France-based gifted forward Mutiaba struck the all-important goal for Uganda in the 55th minute of the match. The Red Devils of Congo, whose only victory came against South Sudan, never responded. Actually, the only wins, one apiece, South Sudan and Congo, were against each other. Uganda's second away win and fourth overall moved the Cranes to the 13 points, one behind Group K leaders South Africa, who trashed South Sudan 3-0 in Cape Town on the same day. The Cranes only dropped points South Africa in the 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifiers, drawing 2-2 in Johannesburg and losing 2-0 in Kampala. All Ugandans' wins came over South Sudan and Congo, home and away. The Cranes are returning to Africa's biggest football bonanza for the first time since Egypt 2019 and the 8th time overall. AFCON 2025 will be held in Morocco in December this year and January of the following year. Following Uganda's win, Coach Paul Put says that Uganda is very ready for AFCON 2025.
I told inside, you are qualified with 10 points, but people they say instantly is because of South Sudan beat Congo. But I told the players, we're not going to qualify it like this. We're going to take the points that we need. We have get a victory, 3 points.
On a eu les 3 points.
En plus, alors le bilan 13 points. The bilan is 13 points.
Le bilan c'est 13 points.
And we have to be honest, the best team.
On doit être honnête, la meilleure équipe.
The best team is South Africa.
La meilleure équipe c'est l'Afrique du Sud.
Because they've been working 4 or 5 years together.
Parce qu'ils ont travaillé depuis 4 ans ensemble.
It's a solid team.
Et ils ont battu une équipe.
Et nous, we are constructing a team.
Nous, on est en pleine construction.
He further promised Ugandans for a good showcasing at AFCON 2025 when time reaches.
Alors, if they do give us also 3-4 years,
si on peut faire 3 ou 4 ans,
you can see the difference.
On verra la différence.
First of all, I have to thank all the Ugandan people. They were always behind the team. I have always asked him to come out. They have been supporting our team very well. We played a bad game.
On a fait un mauvais match
against South Africa.
Contre l'Afrique du Sud.
But I think in every competition,
je crois que dans chaque compétition,
it can happen. We have been giving now the answer to our fans that we have the good mentality,
qu'on a une bonne mentalité,
the fighting spirit,
on a l'esprit de combat.
Et I have been asking to my players.
Et j'ai même demandé à mes joueurs.
First, we qualified.
D'abord, on se qualifie.
And after, we make the next step.
Et puis on passe à l'étape suivante.
Et they have been answering for the next step today.
Ils ont répondu aux deuxième étape aujourd'hui.
I'm very happy and very proud for the Ugandan people. Thank you.
Gntv Sports at 12.
Thank you, Desire, for the sports news. Our dear viewers of Gntv, that's all we had for today. And thanks for being part of us from the time we started to the time we are coming to the end of today's bulletin. My name is ALLIAN, ATUBANDIIZE, Gntv at 12. I've been with Julius behind the camera and Joseph in the control room. Up next is a lunch hour service at King of Kings Church. Please come and attend with beloved men and women of God. Have a blessed afternoon.